Hi, creative friends. It's Elizabeth Sampson, the Doodle Nurse, and today we are going to create another watercolor baby animal in our series of baby animals. And we're going to pull out our supplies today, and what we're going to use first is our pencil so we can sketch with, and the eraser. And I'm using a mechanical pencil here in a 7mm lead is what I chose to use for this. Next, I'm using a Microline 02 marker. It's a fine line water resistant marker, so I can outline my drawing. And we pull out our watercolor pencils that we're going to use. And as you can see, I'm using a various shades of brown, black, and white. And of course, my water brush filled with water and ready to create. So I will move all this stuff to the side and get ready to create my pencil sketch for today's drawing. So grab your utensils and your supplies and let's get started. So the first thing we start to do is sketch with our pencil. And today you will see what we are creating. It is a baby owl. So of course the video wasn't on as I was sketching my first draft of this little owl, but I did have to go over it because I wasn't sure if all the shapes were exactly as I wanted them. So you're going to find sometimes this is what happens for you. And I'm just doing a rough outline of the little owl that I want to create. Now, not all owls have ears, but they do have these large eyes. Well, some of them do. And I just wanted to make it a little bit cartoony, so I put these extremely large eyes on this owl. And as you can see, they're just an oval shape. The head is an oval shape, the body's an oval shape, the eyes are oval shapes, and little circles for the highlight areas in the eyes. And you'll see I do 3 of them here, 2 in the top and 1 in the bottom, just to make the eyes pop. And for the beak, I'm just doing an upside down U shape, little nostrils in, and you bring it to a point, so you make a V. Now these ears I'm going to put on this owl are just off to the side of his head, line up little ragged edges. Okay, I suggest that you go ahead and Google whatever, a little barn owl or a little owl, so that you can create from a picture. But just remember, you're going to break everything down into simple shapes. Now for the feet, we're going to do just what we did with our parrot and wrap those along the log. So if you haven't seen that video, you can hit it in the description box below on how to create a cute little parrot, mama parrot and baby parrot. And we're going to do the same thing by giving him some feathers. You don't have to pencil this in if you want to do watercolors, straight watercolors, or if you just want to put on the paper the watercolor pencils that you want to use. But if you want some guidelines and markers as to where you want your feathers to be, then by all means create an outline for yourself that you can go by. But it's not necessary. And as you can see, it goes on the body, the wings, and I put it on the head as well. These are subject to change, of course. When I put the color on, things do change. Just know that this is your creation. Create it any way that you want to. Now we head off to use our water-resistant fine line black marker. And this marker I am using is in the size 02. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take the marker and go over my lines. You can jagged your edges like this or make them smooth. It really doesn't matter. It's a total preference for you. And as you can see, I changed the size of the ears just as I was putting on the marker because I figured they looked a little bit too big to me for a baby owl. So I just started laying the marker down. And of course, you can tell where I go with the marker. Sometimes I don't. Like if you see the head doesn't show where the ears are, you can base this on how you want to outline your work and your art. Everybody's different. You don't have to follow this exactly. 2 huge ovals for the eyes, and again, the beak I shortened up a little bit, so it's a little U, upside down U, and then it's a long V for the bottom part of the beak in a point. And I have 2 little circles, lines, whatever you want to do for the nostrils in the beak. Now this is definitely a preference as to how you want to put your fine line marker on. I usually go over everything, and I decided to outline the bottom part of the head. In the past I would just not put that outline in there, but it makes a difference how the piece looks in the end, so you're going to have to base it on what you want. So as I go down here with the first wing, now I am using the outline guide of my wing and creating the feathers that come down the side. And as you can see, I changed the size of the wing because I want it to appear to be a baby owl, and I think the wings that I had penciled in were just a little bit too big. And then I start with the body, and I start placing some guidelines for feathers on the body. You don't have to do this again. It's totally a preference thing for you. If you don't want the black to show up and you want a little softer print, then by all means don't put the black in there. But if you are going for a doodle type of appearance, then maybe you might want the fine line black marker in there. It's totally up to you. A lot of my creations are cartoony and doodle-esque is the word I'm going to use. So I love the contrast of the black fine line marker. So I complete the feathers here, and then I'm going to show you, I'm not going to go over everything on how to do this because you can watch the parrot video in the description box below, but you can see how her claws, talons, whatever you want to call her feet, are wrapped around the branch that she is sitting on. This little baby owl, he, little baby owl. And again, I don't follow my pencil lines exact. I do adjust the size as I go, because as I'm putting it on, I realize it's not as tiny as I want it to be. So this is how she turned out. If you'd like to see, take a screenshot of it, stop here, stop the video, and create your owl the way you want. Then go ahead, and we're going to move on to our watercolor pencils. So if you don't have watercolor pencils, by all means, use your medium of choice, whether it be markers, crayons, colored pencils, whatever it is, feel free to use those. We speed things up here with the watercolor pencils, and as you can see, I just lay down color where I want it and how I think I envision this, and I'm just putting a few different colors down, all in the brown family and the black family, and then I will go over them with my watercolor water brush, and you'll see how they blend in. And I adjust things as I go, but this is why I say you don't have to put the feathers down. You can create that the way you want with your watercolor pencils. You can just have the outline of your creation. That's fine. So we're going to keep this sped up through here, and just know that when you're doing this, if you have watercolor paints and you want to keep things on the lighter pastel-y kind of side of your creation, then you might not want the black fine line marker in, or you might not even want the black color in. But of course, I like the contrast, so that is why I put that in. And you can see I didn't erase my pencil lines, and I'm finding out that at the end you can erase everything just fine without messing everything up when you're done. So know that if that's what you want to do, you can do that as well. And make sure you guys check out the playlists down below as to see all the watercolor baby animals that we have here. And if you like this, check out the 2 other videos that I have on the screen now.